What if everything you thought defined success, money, power, an empire built from nothing, was a lie? Imagine standing at the top of the world, only to discover the one thing you've lost is worth more than everything you've gained. Tonight, we're diving into a story that will grip your heart and leave you questioning what really matters. Meet Ethan Caldwell, a billionaire who had it all, until a single moment shattered his world, revealing a secret that could change everything. Will he choose his empire or embrace a second chance at love and family? Grab your tissues, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from, because this story of heartbreak, redemption, and unexpected bonds will keep you glued to the screen until the very end. Ethan Caldwell stood at the floor-to-ceiling window of his 72nd floor office, the city of San Francisco sprawling beneath him like a glittering chessboard. At 47, he was the master of this game, CEO of Caldwell Global, a tech empire worth $12 billion. The media called him a visionary, a titan, the city's most enigmatic bachelor. His life was a carefully orchestrated symphony of board meetings, private jets, and gala dinners. But tonight, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, a hollow ache gnawed at his chest. Something was missing, though he couldn't name it. Mr. Caldwell, his assistant, Margaret, called softly from the door. Her graying hair was pulled into a neat bun, and her calm efficiency had anchored Ethan's chaotic world for nearly 2 decades. Your reservation at Vivace is in an hour. The investors are already en route. Ethan adjusted his silk tie, the weight of another business dinner settling over him. Thank you, Margaret. You can head home. She hesitated, her hand lingering on the doorframe. One more thing, sir. A letter arrived today from Harper & Stone Law Firm. Ethan's breath caught. Harper. The name sliced through him like a blade, dragging up memories he'd buried deep. Olivia Harper, his ex-wife, the woman who'd once been his everything before his relentless ambition drove her away. Leave it on my desk, he said, his voice tighter than he intended. Margaret nodded and left, the click of her heels fading down the hall. Alone, Ethan stared at the cream envelope on his polished mahogany desk. He didn't need to open to know it was from Olivia. His fingers hovered over it, trembling as memories flooded back. Their cramped apartment in Oakland, filled with laughter and dreams. Olivia's warm smile as she handed him coffee each morning. The arguments that grew sharper as his focus shifted from her to his burgeoning company. The day she walked out, her eyes brimming with tears, saying, "I can't compete with your empire, Ethan." "Not now," he muttered, shoving the letter into a drawer. He had a dinner to attend, investors to charm. His world didn't have room for the past. Or so he thought. Vivace was a monument to opulence. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, waiters gliding like ghosts. Ethan sat at the head of a long table, surrounded by men in tailored suits and women in designer dresses, their laughter as polished as the silverware. And then I told him the merger was non-negotiable. One investor, Victor, was saying, prompting a round of chuckles. Ethan forced a smile, but his attention drifted. Across the restaurant, 3 tables away, he saw her. Olivia. Her auburn hair was shorter now, framing her face in soft waves, but her smile, the one that had once lit up his darkest days, was unmistakable. She was dining with someone he couldn't quite see, her posture relaxed yet guarded. Then he heard it, the bright, bubbling laughter of children. 3 children, to be exact, all around 6 years old, gathered around her table. 2 girls and a boy, their faces alive with joy. Ethan's heart stuttered. The boy's eyes, piercing blue, just like his own, locked onto him for a fleeting moment. One of the girls tilted her head, her expression a mirror of Ethan's own when he was deep in thought. The math hit him like a freight train. 6 years old. Their divorce was 7 years ago. Olivia had left, and he'd been too consumed by his empire to chase her. Could they be? "Mr. Caldwell, you all right?" Victor's voice cut through his haze. Ethan couldn't breathe. The room felt too small, the air too thin. "Excuse me," he said, his chair scraping as he stood. "I need air." But his feet didn't carry him to the exit. They pulled him toward Olivia's table, each step heavier than the last. She was laughing at something the boy had said when her eyes met his. Her smile vanished, replaced by a guarded wariness. "Ethan," she said, her voice soft but firm, like a door closing. The children looked up, curious. The boy's gaze held Ethan's, those blue eyes a haunting reflection. The girls, twins, he realized, had Olivia's delicate features but something unmistakably his in their expressions. "Are they?" Ethan's voice cracked, unable to finish. "They're mine," Olivia said, her tone unyielding. "Mommy, who's that man?" one of the girls asked, her voice bright with innocence. "Just someone I used to know," Olivia replied, her eyes never leaving Ethan's. A long time ago, Ethan felt the world tilt. These children, their faces, their mannerisms, the timing, they had to be his. How had he not known? Why hadn't she told him? "We need to talk," he managed, his voice barely above a whisper. "No, we don't." Olivia's words were steady, but a slight tremor betrayed her. "You made your choice years ago, Ethan. You chose your empire over us. But are they?" He lowered his voice, aware of curious glances from nearby tables. "Mine. They're mine," she repeated, her eyes flashing with defiance. "I tried to tell you, Ethan. When I found out I was pregnant, I called your office countless times. I sent letters. Your assistant, Clara, the one before Margaret, said you were too busy. I got the message. You didn't want to be found." The words hit like a physical blow. Ethan remembered those months after the divorce, drowning himself in work, changing his number, shutting out the pain. "I didn't know," he whispered. "Would it have mattered?" Olivia's voice was raw with old hurt. "Would you have chosen differently?" Before he could answer, the boy tugged at Olivia's sleeve. "Mommy, can we get ice cream now? You promised." Her face softened as she turned to her son. "Of course, Lucas. You three pick something from the dessert menu." The children grabbed the menus, their chatter filling the air, giving Ethan a moment to study them. Lucas had his jawline, sharp even at this young age. The girls, Amelia and Charlotte, were identical, their features a perfect blend of him and Olivia. "What are their names?" Ethan asked, his voice thick. Olivia hesitated, then sighed. "Amelia and Charlotte are the girls. Lucas is the boy." Lucas, Ethan's father's name. Had she chosen it deliberately? "They're beautiful," he said, emotion choking him. "And happy. We're happy, Ethan." Her voice softened, but there was steel beneath it. "If you want to talk, here's my card. Call tomorrow. Not for us, that's over. But for them, if you're serious. If you're ready to put someone else first." Ethan took the card, his fingers trembling. As he stumbled back to his table, the investors' chatter faded to a dull hum. The children's laughter echoed behind him, a sound that made his towering empire feel like a house of cards. For the first time in years, Ethan Caldwell felt small, insignificant, and utterly lost. What secret lies in the unopened letter from Olivia? Will Ethan open it and face the truth? Or will he retreat to the safety of his empire? That night, Ethan didn't sleep. The penthouse, with its sleek furniture and panoramic views, felt like a cage. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw their faces: Lucas, Amelia, Charlotte, his children. The word felt foreign, unreal. He'd built a life where family was an abstract concept, something other people had. Now, the reality of 3 lives he'd missed crashed over him like a tidal wave. At dawn, he sat at his desk, the unopened letter from Harper and Stone in his hands. His fingers traced the edges, debating whether to tear it open or burn it. Finally, he ripped it open, his heart pounding. The letter was brief, clinical. "Mr. Caldwell, we represent Olivia Harper regarding a matter of significant personal importance. Please contact our office to discuss." It was signed by Olivia herself, now a partner at the firm. Ethan's mind raced. Why now? After 6 years, why was she reaching out? Was it about the children, or something else entirely? The uncertainty gnawed at him, but one thing was clear. He couldn't ignore this. "Margaret," he called as soon as he reached the office, his voice hoarse from lack of sleep. "I need you to be honest. 6 years ago, did Olivia try to contact me?" Margaret's face paled. She set down her tablet slowly. "Yes, sir. She called repeatedly. Sent letters. Clara, your assistant at the time, followed your instructions to block all personal calls, especially from Ms. Harper. Ethan sank into his chair, the weight of his own choices crushing him. Why didn't you tell me when you took over? I assumed you knew, Margaret said quietly. You never mentioned her. I thought it was deliberate. Get Clara on the phone, Ethan ordered. I want every letter, every message Olivia sent. Find them. Sir, that was 6 years ago. Do it, he snapped, then softened. Please, Margaret, whatever it takes. By noon, he stood outside Harper and Stone's modest office in a quieter part of the city. The building was a far cry from his glass and steel headquarters, but it had warmth, potted plants in the lobby, children's drawings pinned to a bulletin board. Olivia was waiting in her office, surrounded by case files and family photos. She looked up, unsurprised. You came. Did you think I wouldn't? I didn't know, she admitted, removing her glasses. The Ethan I loved would have. The Ethan you became. I wasn't sure. I found out about Clara, he said, sitting across from her. The calls, the letters. I didn't know. Olivia. Does it change anything? Her eyes searched his, daring him to prove her wrong. It changes everything, he said, his voice breaking. If I'd known you were pregnant, I would have. What? She interrupted. Canceled a meeting? Flown back from Tokyo? You were building an empire, Ethan. I was just collateral damage. Her words cut deep, but he couldn't argue. She was right. He'd chosen ambition over love, deals over devotion. Tell me about them, he pleaded. Please. Olivia's expression softened. She opened a drawer and pulled out a photo album. Amelia is the oldest by 3 minutes. She's our dreamer, always lost in stories or sketching. Charlotte's our problem solver, obsessed with puzzles and how things work. Lucas, she smiled faintly. He's like you were before the world got in the way. Kind, curious, always making people laugh. Ethan's throat tightened as he flipped through the album. First birthdays, first steps, first days of school, moments he'd missed. They've asked about their father, Olivia continued. I told them he was someone I loved, but he had to go away. Now, they're asking harder questions, and I don't know what to tell them anymore. Tell them the truth, Ethan said, that their father was a fool who lost his way, but wants to make it right. It's not that simple, Olivia countered. They have a life, Ethan. A good one. I won't let you disrupt that unless you're all in. I am, he insisted, leaning forward. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm asking for a chance to know them, to be their father. And when the next big deal comes along, when your board demands your attention. Her voice was sharp, protective. Ethan reached across the desk, his hand hovering near hers. Last night, watching them laugh, I realized my empire means nothing compared to them. I was wrong, Olivia. About everything. Tears glistened in her eyes. I wanted to tell you so many times. After they were born, I kept hoping you'd show up. But you made it clear your life didn't have room for us. I'm sorry, Ethan said, the words raw and heavy. I know it's not enough, but I'm here now. His phone buzzed. Margaret, no doubt with urgent business. Without breaking eye contact, he silenced it. Olivia noticed. Don't you need to get that? No, he said firmly. Nothing is more important than this. She studied him, then sighed. The kids have a school play next Friday. The Wizard of Oz. Amelia's Dorothy. If you're serious, be there. Second row, center. It starts at 3 p.m. Hope surged in Ethan's chest. I'll be there. Ethan, she said as he stood to leave. If you do this, you have to be sure. They can't lose you again. I won't let them down, he promised. I've spent years chasing empty victories. I'm done. As he left, his phone lit up with missed calls and emails, deals, deadlines, demands. For the first time, he ignored them all. He called Margaret instead. Clear my schedule for next Friday. And find me parenting books. What do 6-year-olds like? Toys, games, everything. Of course, Mr. Caldwell. Margaret replied, a smile in her voice. It's good to see you like this again. Ethan glanced back at Olivia's office. Somewhere in this city, 3 children were living their lives, unaware that their father was finally ready to fight for them. Will Ethan keep his promise, or will the pull of his empire drag him back? And what hidden truth about the triplets could upend everything? The auditorium was a sea of proud parents, their phones poised to capture every moment of The Wizard of Oz. Ethan sat nervously in the second row, center, his usual suit replaced by a navy sweater. He'd canceled 2 investor meetings and a keynote speech to be here. For once, he had no regrets. Olivia arrived with the triplets, all in costume. She spotted him immediately, her expression unreadable but not hostile. "Remember," she whispered as she passed, "they don't know who you are yet. We're taking this slow." Ethan nodded, his heart pounding. He was just a stranger in the crowd today. But when Amelia took the stage as Dorothy, her voice clear and confident, he felt his chest ache with pride. Lucas and Charlotte sat with Olivia, cheering their sister on. After the play, Ethan watched from a distance as parents swarmed their kids with hugs and praise. He wanted to join them, to tell Amelia how incredible she was, but he held back, honoring Olivia's rules. Mr. Caldwell, a kind-faced woman, approached. "I'm Ms. Rivera, the kids' teacher. Olivia told me you might be here." Ethan tensed. "Does she know you're talking to me?" Ms. Rivera smiled. "She does. They're wonderful kids. You should be proud." "I am," he said, his voice catching. "I just wish I'd known them sooner." "It's never too late to start," she said gently. "Be patient. They're worth it." Over the next month, Ethan learned the art of patience. He started small, sending anonymous gifts to the school, sketchbooks for Amelia's art class, a robotics kit for Charlotte's STEM club, soccer gear for Lucas's team. Olivia knew they were from him. She always did. "The kids love the new soccer balls," she said during one of their weekly coffee meetings, now a ritual to discuss the children. "And Amelia's obsessed with those colored pencils." Ethan grinned, imagining his daughter sketching. "Can I see her drawings sometime?" Olivia hesitated, then showed him a photo on her phone, a vibrant sketch of Dorothy, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, clearly inspired by the play. "It's them," Ethan realized. She drew herself and her siblings. "She's perceptive," Olivia said. "They all are. They notice everything." "Have they asked about me?" Ethan's voice was tentative. "About the man for Vivace?" Olivia stirred her coffee. "Charlotte asked if you were a client. Lucas said you look like someone he'd seen before. Amelia said you had kind eyes." Ethan's vision blurred with tears. "When can I meet them?" "Really meet them?" "Soon," Olivia promised. "But first, you need to know them." She handed him 3 folders, each labeled with a child's name. Medical records, school reports, everything. "If you're in, you need to know Charlotte's peanut allergy, Lucas's fear of loud noises, Amelia's asthma." Ethan clutched the folders like lifelines. "I'll study every page." "There's more," Olivia said. "Charlotte's got a robotics fair next month. Lucas has soccer practice Mondays and Wednesdays. Amelia's art classes are Thursdays. Their lives don't run on your schedule, Ethan." "I'll make it work," he said without hesitation. "Margaret's restructuring my calendar. I'm delegating to my VPs." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "And your board?" "They won't like their CEO prioritizing family over profits." "Let them complain," Ethan said, his jaw set. "I've given Caldwell Global everything for 15 years. It's time I gave my kids something." The word kids hung between them, heavy with meaning. They weren't a couple anymore, but they were bound by something deeper. 3 children who deserved both parents. That evening, Ethan opened the folders and found a handwritten note tucked inside Amelia's file. "I kept your old sketches," Olivia had written. "Amelia's talent comes from you." Attached was a faded drawing Ethan had made in college. A starry sky, a gift for Olivia when they were young and in love. The realization that his daughter shared his passion broke something open in him, a mix of joy and regret for the years he'd lost. Ethan sat in his penthouse, the folders spread across his coffee table. He'd ordered takeout, something he hadn't done in years, and pored over every detail. Charlotte's allergy required an EpiPen. Lucas had earned a Team Spirit award in soccer. Amelia's teacher noted her exceptional creativity. His phone buzzed with work emails, but he ignored them, instead researching soccer gear, art supplies, and robotics books. The next morning, he called his realtor. "Sell the penthouse. I need a family-friendly house near good schools, with a yard." "Sir, you just renovated." "Things change," Ethan said, holding Amelia's latest drawing, a gift from Olivia. "People change." At their next coffee meeting, Olivia looked troubled. It's Lucas, she said. He has a Dad-and-Me soccer event next week. He usually brings my brother, Sam, but this morning he asked why he doesn't have a dad like his friends. Ethan's heart clenched. What did you tell him? That families are different, she said. But I think it's time. Time for you to meet them as their father. Are you sure? Ethan's voice trembled with hope. No, she admitted, but they deserve to know you. You've shown you're serious, learning their schedules, showing up for these meetings. Saturday, at the park near our house. They love the new playground equipment. She gave him a knowing look, aware he'd funded the renovation anonymously. Thank you, Ethan said, his voice thick, for trusting me. Don't thank me yet, Olivia warned. They might be confused, angry even. We'll handle it together. Together, Ethan echoed, the word a lifeline. As Saturday approaches, Ethan discovers one of Olivia's old letters in his office archives. A desperate plea from 6 years ago, revealing a shocking detail about the triplets' birth. What secret could threaten to unravel everything just as he's about to meet his children? Saturday dawned gray and rainy, but Ethan didn't care. He'd spent the night rehearsing what to say, his closet a mess as he debated what a father wore to meet his kids. His phone rang. His mother, Victoria Caldwell, her voice sharp. Ethan, canceling the Kessler deal? Your father built this company on deals like that. Mother, I'm busy, Ethan said, choosing a green sweater over his usual suit. Something more important than $150 million. Victoria's tone turned icy. Is this about her? I saw you at Vivace with Olivia. Those children, tell me they're not yours. They are, Ethan said firmly. Your grandchildren, Amelia, Charlotte, Lucas. Triplets. The silence was deafening. Then, how dare she hide them from us? We'll sue for custody. No, Ethan snapped. Olivia raised them perfectly without us. If you want to be part of their lives, you'll respect our choices. He hung up, his hands shaking. The Caldwells were used to control, but Ethan was done bending to their will. At the park, he arrived early, watching families laugh and play. A dad teaching his son to kick a soccer ball. A mom pushing her daughter on a swing. Moments he'd missed. His phone buzzed. Margaret, warning that his father, Henry, was at the office, furious. Ethan texted back, tell him I'm meeting his grandkids. Olivia's SUV pulled up, and the triplets spilled out in colorful raincoats. Red for Amelia, blue for Charlotte, green for Lucas. They ran to the playground, Olivia trailing behind. Ready? She asked, joining him on a bench. No, Ethan admitted, but I'm here. They approached the playground, where the kids were climbing and sliding. Kids, Olivia called, come meet someone. The triplets ran over, curious. Up close, Ethan saw every detail. Charlotte's freckle near her eye, Lucas's unruly hair, Amelia's dimples. This is Mr. Caldwell, Olivia began, then took a breath. Ethan, your father. The children stared. Lucas's jaw dropped. Charlotte clutched Amelia's hand. Amelia tilted her head, studying him. You're our dad? Lucas asked. Ethan knelt to their level. Yes, and I'm so sorry I haven't been here. I was lost, but I want to be here now, if you'll let me. Where were you? Charlotte's voice was small but sharp. I was chasing things that didn't matter, Ethan said, glancing at Olivia. But you matter. You're everything. Do you have other kids? Amelia asked. No, Ethan said softly. Just you three. You're more than enough. A sharp voice interrupted. Ethan. Victoria stormed across the park, Henry trailing behind, both in business attire, absurdly out of place. These are our grandchildren. They belong with us, not in some public park. Mrs. Caldwell, Olivia said coolly, this isn't the time. How dare you hide them? Victoria snapped. The triplets shrank closer to Olivia, frightened. Ethan stepped between them. You will not speak to Olivia that way. She's been an incredible mother. She gave them everything I didn't. Be reasonable, son, Henry tried. Think of the scandal. We'll handle this with lawyers. No, Ethan said, turning to his kids. I'm sorry, this isn't how I wanted you to meet me. Your mom is the strongest person I know, and she's done everything for you. Amelia stepped forward, her small hand slipping into Ethan's. Your eyes are sad, she said. Ethan's composure cracked, tears spilling. I am sad. Sad I missed so much, but so happy to meet you now. Charlotte and Lucas edged closer, curiosity overtaking fear. Can we call you Dad? Lucas asked. Ethan looked at Olivia, who nodded. I'd love that, he said, his voice breaking. But only if you want. We'll go slow. I want to know everything, Charlotte declared. Do you like robots? And soccer, Lucas added. And art, Amelia chimed in. Ethan laughed through his tears. I want to know everything about you two. Victoria's expression softened, watching her son with his children. They have your eyes, she said quietly. All of them. They have more than that, Olivia said. They have his heart, his creativity, everything good about him before the world changed him. The rain began to fall, soft and steady, but no one moved. The Caldwell family, 3 generations, stood together, a fractured past beginning to mend. Later, Ethan found the old letter from Olivia in his office archives. It revealed she'd nearly lost the triplets during a complicated pregnancy, alone, while he was signing a billion-dollar deal overseas. The guilt hit him like a storm, but it fueled his resolve to be the father they deserved. Weeks turned into months, and Ethan's life transformed. He bought a house 10 minutes from Olivia's, with a sprawling yard and rooms for each child. Amelia chose lavender walls, Charlotte picked sky blue, and Lucas wanted forest green. Their first overnight visit was a whirlwind. Pizza, a blanket fort, and stargazing with a telescope Ethan had bought for Charlotte. Dad, what's that? Charlotte asked, pointing at his computer screens, flashing stock data. That's my work, Ethan explained. I help companies grow. Is that why you weren't with us? Her question was innocent but piercing. Partly, he admitted. I thought success meant money, but I was wrong. It means being here for you. Promise you won't miss our plays? Charlotte asked. I promise, Ethan said, sealing it with a pinky swear. The next morning, Olivia found them in the kitchen, covered in flour from a pancake-making disaster. Mommy, Dad, let us put chocolate chips in. Lucas shouted. Olivia raised an eyebrow, but her smile was warm. Can we come back next weekend? Amelia asked. We'll see, Olivia said, but her eyes held trust. Just as Ethan settles into fatherhood, a call from the hospital changes everything. Amelia's asthma takes a dangerous turn, and a hidden medical condition threatens to tear the family apart before it's fully formed. Can Ethan prove he's the father they need? The call came on a Tuesday morning. Ethan was reviewing contracts when Olivia's name flashed on his phone. Ethan, it's Amelia. She's in the hospital. It's bad. He was already running. What happened? Her asthma. Worse than ever. We're in the ambulance. He could hear sirens and Amelia's labored breathing. St. Luke's. Ethan asked, keys in hand. Yes. She's so scared, Ethan. I'm coming. He sped through the city, ignoring red lights, his mind fixed on Amelia's small face. At the hospital, he found Olivia in the waiting room, holding Lucas and Charlotte, their faces pale with fear. Where is she? Ethan demanded. Behind those doors, Olivia said, pointing. Her oxygen levels were too low. Ethan pulled them into a hug, his family, even if he and Olivia were no longer together. She'll be okay, he said, praying he was right. Hours dragged on. Olivia blamed herself, whispering, I should have noticed her wheezing sooner. Ethan took her hand. You're an incredible mother. We're in this together. The doctor finally emerged. Mr. and Mrs. Caldwell, Amelia's stable, but it was a severe attack. We've started new medication and need to keep her overnight. They found Amelia in a hospital bed, tubes in her nose, looking fragile but alive. Dad, she whispered. You came. Of course, sweetheart, Ethan said, taking her hand. Always. Lucas and Charlotte climbed onto the bed, careful not to disturb their sister. Does it hurt? Lucas asked. Not anymore, Amelia said. I remembered what Dad said about stars, that we all shine our own way. I just had to shine harder to breathe. Ethan's heart swelled. That night, he and Olivia stayed by Amelia's side, sharing stories of their college days to keep her calm. You spilled coffee all over yourself when you met Mom. Amelia giggled, her voice stronger. Only because she was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen, Ethan said, grinning at Olivia. Are you still in love? Charlotte asked. Olivia answered gently, "We love each other as your parents and friends. That's a special kind of love." Later, the doctor pulled Ethan aside. "Amelia's condition is more complex than we thought. There's a rare genetic component to her asthma. We need to run tests on you and Ms. Harper to understand it better." Ethan nodded, the weight of responsibility settling deeper. "Whatever she needs." The test revealed Ethan carried the gene for Amelia's condition, a fact that shattered him. Had his absence somehow contributed to her suffering? The guilt drove him to vow never to miss another moment. Amelia's recovery became Ethan's mission. He turned a room in his house into an art studio for her, complete with air purifiers and every supply imaginable. "Is this all for me?" Amelia asked, eyes wide. "All for you," Ethan said. "Your treatments will be easier here." Olivia watched, her heart softening. The man she'd loved was back, reshaped by fatherhood. "Can we stay tonight?" Charlotte asked. "Please." Ethan proposed a bold idea. Renovate his house into 2 separate living spaces. One for Olivia and the kids, one for him. "We'd be closed for Amelia's treatments, but you'd have your own space," he assured her. Olivia agreed, and the move brought chaos and joy. The kids darted between houses, treating Ethan's guest house as an extension of their home. One night, during Amelia's treatment, Lucas asked, "Dad, tell us how you and Mom met." Ethan began, "It was raining, and I saw your mom in a coffee shop, reading a law book." The kids listened, enthralled, as Olivia chimed in with her own details, their laughter filling the room. Months later, at the Triplets' 7th birthday party at Vivace, Ethan stood to speak. "A year ago, I thought I had everything. I was wrong. Success is Amelia's strength, Charlotte's curiosity, Lucas's courage. It's your mom's forgiveness and second chances." The kids presented a surprise, drawings of their family, now officially Carter Caldwells, hyphenating their names to honor both parents. As the party ended, Ethan arranged a light show mimicking the aurora borealis. "It's magic," Amelia whispered. "Like our family," Lucas added. Ethan looked at his children, Olivia, his parents, and Margaret, all together under the glowing sky. This was his true empire. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of redemption and love. Ethan's story reminds us that success isn't measured by wealth or power, but by the love we give and receive. What's your definition of success? Share in the comments, and let us know how this story touched you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that make you feel, think, and dream. Until next time, keep shining like the stars you are.